Hi Denise.
Hi.
Thanks for coming down. As you know, at TGO we firmly believe movement is one of the best forms of medicine. Now you have worked in movement for how many years?
A few more than I'd like to remember.
So just it'd be great if you could give us some background on you and what you do, and also how you've used movement as a form of medicine.
Well, so I'm a chartered physiotherapist, and essentially a physio is a movement specialist. So everything that we do, every patient that we see, we are always looking on how can we help that person move better and live better, and understanding what the barriers are to them being able to move. So movement is hugely important to us. What's really exciting is that scientifically now, it is unarguably every aspect, every organ of the body, every system in the body, your mental health is always improved with movement. And that is why our job becomes even more amazing, because the scope of who we can help and how we can help them through movement just gets bigger and bigger.
Great. So could you give us some examples of some diseases or illnesses that movement definitely helps?
Well, I've already mentioned mental health, which is that there's so much out there that getting people moving and that change in mindset is really, really beneficial. You've also got the lifestyle diseases that we've got, so heart disease, diabetes, the obesity, again, all improved with movement. And probably the most exciting part of what we're learning now is in cancers, not just in prevention of cancers, but also in to stop them reoccurring. There's a lot more evidence now around how getting people moving and moving in the right way for them and their condition can really reverse and improve their conditions, or indeed stop them recurring or flaring up in the future.
So when I think of a physiotherapist, I normally think of joints, but obviously it sounds like you get patients that have cancer, diabetes. Is that right?
It is so diverse. What physiotherapy can help, it's incredible. And I think you're right. Most people do think about the sports injury or a recovery after hospital, but actually it's so much more that we can do and reach out in that. And if it's a muscle, we can train it and we can improve it. And muscles move joints. So it is all improved.
That's fantastic. So in terms of the GP prescribing movement as medicine, that's been going on for years in the form of a physiotherapist.
Absolutely, exactly. With I think there has been a long-standing history or tradition of the GP referring into physio when they have patients that they want to get going. But what we're now seeing is that understanding is getting broader, and people are looking to, rather than wait until there's an issue, actually starting to utilise and access physiotherapy preventatively.
Yeah, definitely. There's a real need for prevention rather than cure, isn't there? Because stitching time saves time. How would you say movement compares to other medicines in terms of its effectiveness? If it was actually in a bottle, how effective would you say it is compared to actual, typical prescription drugs?
Well, I think you can answer that yourself. Imagine how disempowering it is losing your function, losing your independence. It's miserable. So if you can influence someone's ability to take ownership of their body again and be able to take independence on getting out of bed, getting out of a chair, going for walks, not needing assistance to do that, it is so powerful and so empowering that the outcome and the knock-on effects of that gets is phenomenal. And you see a reduction in the need for analgesia or medication to support their conditions, because actually their body improves in all its systems, and its tolerance to the disease or illness becomes less and less, and they can do more and more, even with the same diagnosis and condition at the beginning.
Fantastic. What do you think of outdoors as a setting to get active, and what are the benefits?
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, just look at today, where we were so lucky with the weather anyway. But again, sunshine, we all know the benefits of that, of being out, of interacting with other people, coming out of your four walls. I mean, it's free. it's accessible. It, you can't get much better than them being able to exercise in that way.
Yeah, I mean, a park setting is so democratic, isn't it, in terms of everyone can access a park.
Yeah.
So there's no one excluded. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing for everyone.
Yes, agreed.
So what advice do you have for an inactive person who's looking to start out getting more active? How would they start that journey?
So I think it's with any journey, you really need to understand why you're not on it already. And once you understand what has been holding you back or restricting your, whether that's an internal factor, your belief system, your confidence on how to do it, or the opportunities of the time that you've got to do it, or external factors such as you just haven't had access, or able to get to somewhere where you can do your activity or increase your exercise. And I think once you understand what those barriers were and how you're going to overcome them, then there is no stopping you. And that's really, people can do that for themselves, and you see that every day. But from a physiotherapist position, that's where we come in, and actually we can help people identify what that is, because a lot of the time people don't really know why they're not. They haven't made a specific choice to be that way. It's just the circumstances have come around, and that's the outcome it is. So it's really identifying and supporting them, and again empowering them with education and an understanding on what their body's capability is, that we see those outcomes and move them forward.
I can see that. I definitely agree with that, because my mum, for example, she's had a hip replacement and she's concerned of that dislocating again, and for her to have some expert advice from physio to know what she can and can't do, and what sort of movements she can and can't do, and what she should avoid doing, then that would just open up. Knowledge is power, isn't it? And that would open up what she can do. Because I think people are so worried about damaging themselves or making themselves worse from their condition or symptom, that they then stop everything. But if we can then help people decipher what they can actually do, then I think that's going to open up movement as a form of medicine to more people, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks very much for coming down and explaining why movement is such a fantastic medicine. And it's great to be partnering with Kesson and helping people, as many people as possible, benefit from movement. So thanks very much.
Well, Denise. No, and thank you. We're really excited about this partnership.